Morning, family. This is Stace with Royal Temple, and this is a special intro edition to Morning Move. Shout out to them boys in red and yellow. You feel me, Kansas City? We pulled off another playoff victory, headed to the bowl again, hopefully. All that being said, man, I was just feeling good about the win. So let's get straight into it. Let's get it. So listen, family, today your boy's got a testimony, you feel me? And I'm really not big on testimonies personally, but I think this one will be impactful. So as some people probably know, me and my family just got back from Branson. We had a really good time. We went up there for Christmas. We spent Christmas up there, Christmas Eve, and then, got up that morning, opened Christmas presents all together, all around the Christmas tree. And, it was a really cool time. Took a lot of money up there, spent a lot of money up there. And what's funny is that even though we spent a lot of time in the house, we ended up spending a lot more money than we were expected to. It was crazy. But before we actually left, I did my due diligence. I ran the numbers. I figured out how much we needed when we got back. The whole 9 yards, trying to be wise about it, And what ended up happening was you don't realize that you're depending on something until it's gone. And I didn't realize that because I was getting that child tax credit thing that they were sending each month to everybody, because I was getting that each month, I was kind of counting that as my actual income, not paying attention to the fact that that can end whenever they say that they want to end it. And guess what? They said they want to end it in January of 2022, and I did not know that. I had no clue. So by the time we got back, I'm looking at the account thinking that 600 is supposed to be in there, and it ain't. And it's not there. So all of that being said, we $600 short. But to be honest, I wasn't really tripping about it. Like, I got a lot of things going on. Like, I got more streams of income. So, I knew that I could go make that money elsewhere. But for whatever reason, over the past couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, it just was dry. I just could not make the money investing in what I normally invest in. I couldn't make the money that I normally do because the market was dry. So as time goes on, I'm looking like, man, what are we about to do? And what's funny is my wife hit me up yesterday just on a random tip as I was in the gym. And she said, it's this breakfast nook that's on Facebook Marketplace right now, the same one that we want for a lot cheaper. I really wish we had the money to get it. And me as a man, me with my personality, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like looking at myself like, what kind of man are you to not be able to afford something that costs a couple $100 for your wife in an instant? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, what are you doing? And this is me having this internal conversation with myself. So it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I felt inferior as a man almost. And I'm like, I can't climb myself out of this hole the way that I've been doing it. It's just not working. But I thought about this, though. I thought about the fact that I had not yet prayed to God. I had not yet gone to the Father saying, like, this is what's going on, even though I know He knows what's going on. But, that communication just hadn't been there between me and Him. I've been reading like crazy, reading a lot more, learning about Him a lot more, praying to Him as I'm reading. But like about my actual personal life, I haven't seen the need to go to Him. And that's one of my problems. That's one of my problems in general. So all that being said, man, all of this is hitting me as I'm in the gym. I'm like doing my last couple of sets and I'm like, I can't even get through it. You know what I'm saying? I can't even get through it. I'm just done. I was entering into despair, but I'm deciding in my mind, when I go home, I'm crying out to the Lord because this is something that we need. And I apparently am not able to go do it by myself. And instantaneously, when I say instantaneously, I mean like as soon as I started going into despair, and then I made up my mind saying, hey, I'm going home and I'm praying about this thing and me and God is going to figure this out. My wife hits me and was like, no, it's okay. Even if we can't get that thing, it's okay. Because the side business that we got going on, we actually just landed a gig. So this is how much it's going to be. And she starts giving me all the details. And I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, we haven't been able to get a gig in 2 to 3 weeks. Like, it's been dry. And now you're telling me as soon as I go through this little process of being down and out and then committing myself to prayer, we just randomly get one? That's not coincidence. That is God. That's God, and that's God all day long. And so right then and there, I pretty much just dropped to the floor. I'm not even going to lie. Not like laying out on the floor, but it was almost like a Tim Tebow kneel on the field type situation, man. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, God, I cannot believe that you just did that. Like, I cannot believe how good you are. And I was overwhelmed all in one moment of how good God is and how good he is to his people and how he just wants you to have a relationship with him and reach out to him. He knew everything that was going to happen, and he allowed it to happen because he wanted me to realize that I needed him. I couldn't do it by myself. And that's what I want to talk to you guys today about, man. Do you know how much you need God? Like, do you really understand it? I know a lot of us, we can go through the weeks, we can go through the months and the years, and we don't even really, compute how much we really need him. Like, we say it, it's a cliche statement. We can say it in church, trust God, you need God, you can't do it on your own, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But a lot of times, if you're God's child, God is going to make sure that you know that you need him. Because even when you think you don't need him, he's going to start taking stuff away one by one by one. And you're like, man, what the heck is going on? And then you reach out to him and you realize, oh, that's what was missing. God is getting my attention. It's the same thing with me and my kids, I hear a lot of parents or a lot of people say, man, I don't want to force myself on them, and God don't force himself on you. Well, I don't know about y'all, and I don't know how other people live their lives. All I can say is I force myself on my kids. Like, if you're my kid, you're going to get me. Like, you don't have an option. You can't be like, I don't want to talk to daddy today. Well, you don't got a choice. You better get your butt down here and tell me how your day was. I mean, like, you don't get to just tell me no, because we're going to have a relationship. And it's going to either be a good relationship or it's going to be a bad relationship, but it's not going to be no relationship. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad, and it's not going to be bad because of me, if I got anything to say about it. And that's how God is with us. If we are really his children, he's not going to allow us to just run rampant in the earth and do what we want to do and forget about him and not pray and not read your word and just do what you want to do. That's not how God works. It's not how he operates. The Bible even tells us one of the signs that you are a child of God is that he chastises you. If that's a lie, I ain't tell it. You feel me? But I say all that to say that God is looking for a real relationship with us, a real one. I mean, a daily one. And after we pass a certain stage in our Christian walk, it shouldn't be a schedule. You shouldn't have to make notes to pray. You might have to make notes to read. It shouldn't be a duty anymore. It should be something that you long for. It should be something that you love, something that you want to do, and that goes for all of us. And God is looking for that relationship from all of us. You feel me? He loves you. He loves me, and he wants us to come to him. And like I said before, if you don't come to him and you're truly his, he's going to pull you his way. Like, you can't run off forever. You feel me? It's kind of like the prodigal son. You can't run off forever. You're going to come back. So this week, don't let people, don't let your busyness, don't let your job, your kids, whatever the case may be. It could be your husband. It could be your wife. Don't let anything stand in the way of you reaching out to the one that you know loves you the most. You feel me? Loves you unconditionally the most. So let's come before we're pulled. You feel me? Let's approach the altar before we're yanked and he break your neck in the process. You feel me? Hey, listen, I love y'all, and all of this is out of love. I'm appreciating the fact that you're even tuned into this mug right now. And I just want to say, get on your knees, send prayers up to the Father. He's waiting on you. You feel me? He's waiting on you. All that being said, listen, man, I love y'all. Y'all gonna have a good week and a blessed week. And come before the Lord, you feel me? Come before you pull. This is Stace from Royal Temple, and we out. Let's get it.